Mind over matter, overcompensating, overstatements, crookedness related, the soul's churn in return, mental overstimulation, one word, riveting, it terrors my pilot, streams that are promised to make seeking less.
And we're in the room, as my brother would like to say. Greetings, everyone, greetings. You are through to the Mad Poet podcast. Welcome. I am your host, the Mad Poet, otherwise known as Alex Murder. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing, having a good one. You know, all that good stuff. As we like to say, positive, man, in a good place, just look to share, looking to chop things up and just express, as we like to say, just express. Perhaps you'll listen to the audio, you're not necessarily watching things, if you're not on YouTube. Right now I'm in a different space, a great space, and well, it's looking pretty lovely. Let's be real. You're looking live, you know what I mean? We're doing it live tonight, you know? And no, man, it's great. I just want to give currently, if you're in the UK, this is happening where I'm at right now, at the Doorstone Lounge. Just want to give a straight salute to the Doorstone Lounge for having me today, and taking care of your boy, taking care of me, and just having a nice setup, very classy, you know what I mean, looking fresh, so I'm feeling good, and just want to share with everybody, you know, where I've been, and what's going on. A few thoughts on my mind. So hopefully you can follow me down this most recent rabbit hole. And truth be told, you know, for this occasion, I thought it's a special occasion, the first time, you know, I'm doing podcasting or doing a episode in this spot, and this spot is means a lot to me, and I always share, you know, shout out, and this is where I actually did my book launch as well, you know, so I appreciate them, and they're like family, and they always support me, so you know, it's much appreciated to be here. For sure. As I was going to say, for the occasion, I actually have a full piece today. Now, normally when I read, it's just a quote, as I always elaborate on. Normally when I read, it's really just a quote. But I actually got a full piece today, and this is a rare treat. Now, I do actually express or, you know, recite full pieces, but not often. On rare occasions I would, but I thought this was a great time for it. So, but before we get there, you know, I hope everybody's doing well. So yes, the piece. Let's get to the piece, shall we? This is the piece for today. They say the tree is destined to grow, but am I supposed to reap what I sow? What if my faith, like perception, thrives backwards? The ultimate chaos, for the only thing I witnessed born was nettles, spikes and thorns, for I never took the time to apply the right form. Inconsistencies was worn on the outside of me. Perhaps I fed the earth, thereby fed turmoil to the tree. The mind is refined only by the growth that's inside. But through osmosis, the motives of my crime, like seasoned limbs of finite, the land was meant to thrive and live. Living wood is supposed to live many lives. Maybe I'm the sickly tree, for I never took time to get to know me. Now I hang onto every word from the external, amicable. No wording ever too dirty to describe me. Despite the smile, sometimes I thrive off sea. Hearing my reprieve, destined to lose, initiated by a whiff and a sneeze. But the good times have only existed mostly from the light and good frequencies out of times of what I define as me. I could never tell it, brain plate race to configure. I needed to knowledge to be better. Oneself cannot live a life on chronic callous cred. The coldness of the feet that ice rose to bring a lackluster smile to my endless surmise. There was poetry. There was flow before I knew it was me. There was crow, thus I saw the dark through eyes that saw the transcendently. We are more than just a mere facet, thus that means we are many. Like a canvas, expression is what we make it. Discipline gives the wheel of replication, the need to know oneself. All you have to do is write it. Create milestones. Now my ground is solid like consistency. Back to the tree. I never knew it was me, growing to the opposite daily. Then one day I flipped the tree. Now I see the sun rays and a better me. I ate like the ancestors ate. Now I'm great. Belly so full, now I'm bearing more than leaves. Autumn is just a facet of me. In summertime I produce like tree. Giving back to thee, the world is a better place if we all feed. Thus make sure you find time to feed your tree. And the line again, thus make sure you find time to feed your tree. And that is the piece for today. And you know, I just wanted to sort of emphasize this line because I think it speaks to life and the way you should approach it. These days, you know, as we know, we speak about self-care so much. But as mentioned, it's important to feed that tree, which is supposed to be yourself, you know. Giving back works both ways. You want to give back to your environment, your people that are always there for you, but make sure you give to yourself as well, you know. I think that's very important, in my opinion, if nothing else. But I digress. Let's move on. Let's move on. But before I do, I hope you can relate to this piece that I've just recited. Questions, right? Questions. This was pretty much the first thing that came to mind when I perhaps before I started, but ultimately once I finished this piece, this was the primary thing that I was thinking about. Why do we write poetry? Or to make it a bit more of a general thought, why do we create? You know, I for myself, I think it's very specific. Why do I write poetry? people that's actually been following what I do. I've expressed, how things started for me in the early years, where I was never the most expressive person, not lacking in ability, but more of a choice. I chose not to, speak or express my thoughts. I was, to be blunt, perhaps more of an observer. So I would just observe the world around me. Just understanding, probing, taking trials, and getting to know who I am in relation to the world around me, one could say. But of course, unlike, just like anything else, one has to express the plight of any human being on this earth, bar none. It's a responsibility. It's part of your responsibility to express. If not for anybody else, I would say, I would argue, because if it's not going out, it's in. If you're not exploding, you're imploding. It's that simple. So, we hear about people, just exploding one day and they just crash out, they go crazy, they do things that are just so off key, or you always hear about these people that are so explosive, but they spent their a lifetime painting this narrative, and I say narrative in terms of their actions of never hurting a fly. And then suddenly one day you wake up and you've perhaps hurt somebody or injure yourself, or I don't really want to say that word where suddenly you passed away and you did it to yourself. So I think these are some of the more extremes that we speak about when we talk about not expressing oneself, not taking time to diffuse situations, matters that we're experiencing. That is these are critical, or perhaps one could argue lethal to the human experience, but by no means is it short-lived, but it certainly is something that's prone. One is prone to be neglectful about, but it is a problem when it is neglected for a long time. So it's just so many different things. There's so many things to tap into when we look into it. Why people create. But yes, that was the beginning of the journey for myself in terms of writing. And this is like I would say my early teenage years. I started writing poetry when I was around 13. So you do the math. So it's taken me so many years, but I think for me, it's a journey, and it's taken me so many places, man. But it's been humbling, opened so many doors at this stage, obviously. But humbled by it, and it's positive. And you know, at this point, I sort of just look forward to waking up every day just to do this again. So, you know, I consider myself privileged in that sense. But yes, what is this thing about wordsmiths that comes in form of rap? And I'm just using this as an example. Wordsmiths. As just a different facet of creating. You have the wordsmiths, you have the rapper. Of course, poetry. Stories, even comedy. Because when you think about, I mean, this could just be me, this is my personal opinion, perhaps. But when I think about comedy, I also see comedians as great writers. You know, they're sort of running this monologue, a monologue that's somewhat, it's very involving for the audience, and they're so, again, it's so great what they do, and they're so skillful with their pen that they're able to kind of bring the audience to life, bring the audience to have them be involved in their world, in how they see the world around them, how they experience life, and what they think about.
Mind over matter, overcompensating, overstatements, crookedness related, a soul's churn in return, mental overstimulation, one word, riveting, it terrors my pilot. Streams that are promised to make seeking less.